Hey, welcome back everybody. Today is Earth Day 2020 and this is art class with Mr. Darby. I got my honeybee hive behind me and I've been watching the bees going in and out of the hive, but it's a little cold today, so they're a little bit slower, and it's not quite 40 degrees out, 45 degrees even, so they're pretty quiet. But since it is Earth Day, I thought that I would show you a project my kids built with their grandpa. They built a birdhouse, and we hung it up for Earth Day. It's actually back here in the woods behind me, and just try and take you a little bit closer so you can see that. But we got our birdhouse set up, and I know not everybody out there has the tools and materials to build a birdhouse, but I thought, you know what, we could draw one together. Let's draw it. I got a nice one we can build on a piece of paper. All right, so grab your papers and pencils and let's build a birdhouse together. So make sure you have your papers and have your pencils and you're ready to go. This should be a nice simple birdhouse. So this is about as close to the birdhouse as I can get without losing the edges of the paper. And we want to turn this vertically since it is a birdhouse. It's going to be a little bit taller than it is wide. But let's start here. We're going to actually start with the bird's beak. Okay, and we'll build out around the bird's beak. So right about the middle of the paper, maybe a little higher than that, we can make a letter V turn to the side, just like that. All right, and then we're going to put a C shape on the end. And you could probably use the same shape to make an ice cream cone, but we're using it for our bird. From here, we're going to kind of come up right off the edge of the V, put a little line, and we can come up for the head. And the head will come up. You could put a couple little feathers maybe going back and stop. And then over here, we can add a little eyeball, which is not a perfectly round shape. It could be. But we're going to go ahead and color that in, leaving a couple little white spots for our eye. And then we could take and put a little line in there for the bottom of the beak. Underneath here, we can take a little line back. And that's about where we want to stop on the bird's head. Now we want to make the hole, the opening inside the birdhouse. So it's actually a letter O. We're going to try and make it a 3D house. So let's see how this goes together. Let's make an O coming out right after the side of the head of the bird. We're going to come up and over like a rainbow and stop. There's the bird's eye. And then we can connect it by taking a line right here below the beak, bringing it down a little bit, and then bring it up and connect it. And now you have room for your bird's head, right, to go back inside. You can make the body coming down. More little lines for the bird's head also, okay? You could darken that in. We can shade that in. I'm going to actually take and make a little line right here that follows the wood, and that way it looks 3D, and I'm going to go ahead and color that in. Remember, if you need time to catch up, you could do that just by pausing the video, all right? Very nice. So we have the wood, it's the 3D part. Okay, now about the same height as the top of the oval for the opening, we want to make a dot. All right, we'll do one here, and we can come over and do one on this side. We're going to bring this down for the bird box, for the bird house. We're going to make a line kind of come in. I'm going to kind of curve it. Looks a little more interesting to me that way. Bring it down behind the beak. Just a little curve, okay? And we're going to do the same thing on the other side, kind of curve it in and get a little bit narrower. You can see how this kind of comes together at the bottom. That's important. And stop. All right? Let's bring this down just a little bit lower than the right line. All right? So you got your left line and your right line. And then we're going to connect that with a straight line right there. Now we'll make that A shape at the top. So right above the circle, right in the middle of the oval, the opening of the birdhouse, come up just a little ways. Now the higher you make it, the taller the roof. The shorter you make it, obviously the shorter the roof. So right above there, we'll put a little dot. We can come down and just go right past it a little bit on this side and do the same thing on this side. Okay, great. Come up a little ways, Put a dot right above it, and then follow it down, making a parallel line. Comes down, stops, and connects. Do the same thing on the other side. Come down, out, connect. Okay, great. Now, this is where it might get a little bit tricky for some of you. What we want to do is draw a line from this end of the roof over, straight over, okay? But the top of the roof is actually not going to follow it. It's not going to go straight over. It's going to kind of tip down a little bit, like that. And then this line here on the left is going to go ahead and follow the front of the roof. We can go ahead and copy the line we have here to make the rest of the roof 3D and then connect it like that. The left side of the birdhouse is going to be just the side of the birdhouse. We actually want it to tip up. All right, to make this look 3D, we want to put a little diagonal line here. And don't make this too long. If you make it really long, it won't fit inside the box. All right, and then we'll connect it. Come in just a little bit from the left and come down and connect. Pretty simple, right? This birdhouse could have a little bit of a peg that sticks out. Maybe the bird wants to sit on it. So we could put a C shape down here, a line coming out, and then an oval at the end. Now you have a little stick for your bird to sit on, okay? Then underneath here, we can make this have a little base or a foot to it. All right, so you got this one going out diagonal, this line coming straight down, and this one coming out at a different diagonal, going a different way. Let's connect those points. Here, and here. And we can bring 3 lines straight down now and connect those. And that will give us our 3D base. Here, and here. Great. You could add as many details as you want to. You could put a roof on it with shingles. You could maybe make it look like wood. You could design a window here. I was thinking more of a realistic approach where you wouldn't put windows in it, right? A bird wants to feel safe in the birdhouse, so there would be only one entrance. You could decorate around it, maybe put a frame. It's really yours to add as many details as you want to it. So go ahead and take some time and do that after you're finished drawing here. We're going to make this one look like it's sitting up against a tree, kind of like mine is. It's leaning on top of a tree branch, and that way it kind of blends in a little bit, maybe for extra security. So we're going to make this part of the tree trunk, all right? Just a little bit of a line, kind of like a backwards J, goes up and over. And this will be our tree trunk over here. And then this line here goes behind, wiggles a little bit, and then up. For our branch, we'll come back down and over like a capital letter L. And then we'll just pretend that that disappears off the page. All right. What we want to do now is make a line for the bottom of the branch that gets a little bit wider as it comes toward the tree trunk. And the tree trunk would come down. So let's even make a dot right here so we have an idea where we need to stop. And then we can kind of make our line a little bit wavy, just like that. Let's go ahead and put some leaves on the end. So here's a leaf. It's like an S shape. This one here is more like a C shape, and it's got a little line right there. Maybe it's a flowering tree. It is spring. So let's go ahead and add a little flower to it. It's pretty easy. If you just kind of make a cloud, if you've ever drawn a cloud like that, and then you can put a middle in it, and you can color it whatever you want. We can go ahead and add maybe another leaf here, and here, and a line in the middle. We can add another leaf down here. Not too bad. And then we can make the tree trunk kind of come down and it would disappear. So that's our birdhouse. I think we should probably spend some time coloring it together. All right. If you decide you want to add any more details, I think that you should take the time to do that because it's always worth it. Spending a little extra time on your artwork is never a problem. Okay, I picked out the colors for my birdhouse, and I thought, well, let's make the birdhouse white. We'll make the roof a couple different shades of blue. So I got a darker blue for the side of the birdhouse, and then I'll use a lighter blue on the parts that are facing up toward the sun or toward the light. And there you have it. That would be our birdhouse. And I did this red bird. I don't really know what kind of bird it is. It is not a cardinal. It's been floating around my house here for a little while. And it's small, and it's got brown on the belly and grays along the back and the wings. And then it's just got some little bit of red on the chest and the head. And it's a very pretty bird. But you can make your birds any color you want to. You can make your birdhouse any color you want to. Be creative with these, all right? Art is an outlet, especially at this time. It's an escape for some of us, and maybe it's an escape for your parents from you for a little while. Don't be offended by that. Let's give them a chance to catch their breath too. So I hope you're having fun drawing with me, and I hope to see you guys soon. But in the meantime, keep up the hard work, keep up the great work. I'm proud of you. And I want you to keep going. I'll talk to you soon.